Yes guys, how's it going? Welcome back to a new video. Hope you guys are all having a great Monday. Enjoyed the weekend if you're a Newcastle fan. I've no doubt you enjoyed the game yesterday, the 6-goal thriller between Newcastle and Manchester City. The Toon pick up a point against the champions, 3-3 in that game. And what a game it was, and what a fantastic point it was as well. It's crazy, however, to think that at one point yesterday, I was disappointed that we didn't win that game. We were 3-1 up, but had you offered me the point yesterday morning, I would have ripped your arm off. So I can't sit here now and say we should have won. We could have won. We were that good. I think for around 50 to 60 minutes of that game, we were all over them. We were all over them. We were really, really good. And it just makes you think, if we can play that way every game this season, we've got nothing to worry about. We are going to be good this season, and it just gets you thinking, what could we potentially go and achieve this season? And that's against the Manchester City side, who, you know, first of all, are fantastic. Second of all, they've got two teams. They can bring people on off the bench. They can do what they want. You know, for us, we didn't have much coming on off the bench. We brought on Sean Longstaff and Chris Wood. And don't get me wrong, they're both hard workers. They both add to this squad. But we just need that little bit more. I mean, St. Max was incredible yesterday. So good. Great to see Miggy get a goal. I thought generally, we were great yesterday. But we now have a week and a half left of the transfer window. Things are really heating up. And the question is, what are we going to do? What can we do? Because there is not long left. What can we go out there and get done before this window ends? We know that Joao Pedro is up and underway. There's loads of links still to James Maddison. He's a player that we know we placed bids for. Leicester wanted us to go higher. It's understood that he is still very much on Newcastle's radar, and he would certainly add a lot if we could bring him in. We talk about that creativeness, adding goals. He could do all of that. Still links to Jack Harrison as well. It's really interesting because I just feel like, because we've gone in for these players and they've been told no, I still would not rule us out going back before the end of the window. And I know Eddie Howe has his little list of players that he believes will add to this side. You know, we must have been through that list 2 or 3 times at this point. I still would not be surprised to see us maybe go in and have a final punt at 1 or 2 of these players. And you think the owners, they're going to want to go out on a high as well. They're going to want to go out and bring in somebody good before the end of the window. I mean, we'll start, and some news coming out today as well is still with Lucas Paquetá as well. Some of the stuff that I'm hearing at the moment is along the lines of that, or that's being reported, is that Maddison remains number 1 and Paquetá remains plan B. Now, take all of that with a pinch of salt. I think the Paquetá one is still really interesting because unlike Maddison, unlike Harrison, unlike Joao Pedro, who we'll talk about in a moment, there is no links to bids for Paquetá. But a lot of what's coming out is that he has made the list. He has made the mythical list of Eddie Howe, but he's just not quite where we're looking yet. And if that's true, you would ask why. Why aren't we looking there yet? Because we know how good he is. We know what a great player he could be and what he could add to this side. Unless we still do feel like we've got that chance with a James Maddison. And I will go through these players a little bit more in a moment. But I want to start off with Joao Pedro. Simply because he's the man that we are being linked with the most right now. The Brazilian, 20-year-old Brazilian from Watford, left out of the Watford squad at the weekend due to an ankle injury. It's now being said that it looks like it's because of the fact that negotiations are ongoing and they've kind of given him a rest period while Watford decide what they're going to do next. Obviously, Fabrizio Romano's been posting for a while on this one that, well, it was said that 2 bids had gone in, a 3rd bid was going in. It's not 100% on how many bids have been placed, but we know the interest there. We know Newcastle have placed bids, and Sky Sports are jumping on it now as well, saying that Newcastle are looking to place that hopeful final bid that will agree the price with Watford. Obviously, they want to try and get as much money as they can for him, but at the same time, they need to get it done and dusted before the time runs out, because there is not long left. There has also been links with Newcastle and Saw, the other Watford player. Now, what's interesting is actually a lot of Watford fans have actually said they would rather keep Joao Pedro. I think Saw has a couple of injury issues, and although he is a fantastic player, I think the ceiling for Pedro is higher. Yes, I think Saw is better than Pedro right now, but I think the Saw ceiling is higher. The Pedro ceiling is higher, and under a manager like Eddie Howe or a coach like Eddie Howe, he will no doubt get the best out of him and hopefully make him into a very good player. Now, Saw was being linked with Newcastle in a potential double move for the pair of them, but Watford don't want to let them both go. And Aston Villa had then been linked with Saw, which was slightly worrying because we don't want him to go because it means we can't get Joao Pedro. Now, it's understood the links between Saw and Aston Villa have now broken down, which is good news for us, as it now opens up the door for the Pedro one to hopefully go through, get it done the next 24, 48 hours. We then play Tranmere on Wednesday, and then with a week left to go, we can try and bring in 1 or 2 of these other signings. I am very confident that we will, or I'm very hopeful. I won't use the word confident because it'll just bite me in the bum. I will use the word hopeful that we will bring in one of the Chelsea players that we're being linked with. It's understood that Pulisic has said he wants to come to Newcastle. So as I think I said it in yesterday's video, who wants to drive down there and get him? Because we need to get him up here quick before the timer runs out. I think that I'm hoping the Pedro one goes through. I'm hoping that the Chelsea loan will go through. Will that be it? Let me know your thoughts on that down below. Or are we still in for a surprise at the end of this window? Will Newcastle go in and go, right, 50 million wasn't enough for James Maddison. Here's the 60. That's our big statement summer signing. He's coming through the door. I'm really unsure. I think it would be amazing if we could do that. I'm just totally unsure of if we were going to do it, we would have done it sooner, unless we are playing a little bit of tennis here, where a little bit of back and forward, where that if we hold off just long enough and then go back in with and go, well, there's the 55, there's no time left to negotiate, take it or leave it, and we kind of really put the pressure on them, do you want it or not? And I think there's more chance of the James Maddison one happening than the Jack Harrison one happening. He's a man that we're being linked with again. There was obviously some great interest from Eddie Howe, I believe, was very interested in Jack Harrison, and we can see why now, because he started off fantastically well for Leeds this season. I think he got 3 assists in the Chelsea game. Did he score a goal as well? It was phenomenal in that game. I mean, they're not going to let him go now, are they? Or if they do, I've got a feeling his price might have doubled since the last time we were interested. And then from what I'm hearing is that, as I say, Paquetá is still on the list that we could go in for. And if you think that Leicester are wanting as much as 60 million for Maddison, I just find it hard to believe that if we were in for Paquetá, one of the sources online or one of the reports coming out is that Maddison remains plan A and that Paquetá is the likely plan B. So if we can't get Maddison in, we could look to Paquetá. I just don't know why we would play the game like that when we've clearly gone in for multiple players throughout this window. We've not really gone, okay, we'll go for him and we'll wait around for him. That's what Manchester United did with that Barcelona guy. The name's just escaped me, and I should definitely know his name. De Jong, sat around and waited all summer and then nothing happened. Newcastle haven't done that. We've gone out, we've approached different clubs, we've approached different players. If that was happening, I don't know why we wouldn't be approaching Paquetá already. But I think the Maddison one's a really interesting one. Do you think we could potentially go in for him? Really, I want you guys to let me know down below. Pedro, Chelsea loan, are those the two attacking players Newcastle hope to bring in this window, or could we see something big popping up before the end of the window? And it's interesting that we are still linked with those same names. We haven't really heard any new ones for a little while now. Could it be someone completely out the blue that suddenly steps in at the end of this window? But I'm very hopeful. I won't use the word confident again. I'm very hopeful that we will get something done very soon. Hopefully the Joao Pedro one can get done quickly and we can turn our attention to these next few signings to hopefully bring in. And as I say, after how well we did against Manchester City, you've just got to hope we can go out there and just give us that final little oomph this summer window to head into the rest of the season. Thanks for watching, guys. Let me know your thoughts on the transfer window, the remaining week and a half of the transfer window down below. The links to Maddison, to Paquetá, to Harrison, and can we get the Pedro one done nice and quickly? All right, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you later.